Hey y'all, it's Ashley with my first layout with the April 2014 HIP kits. I'm just having a look through some of my kits and I'm going to pull out some of the papers that I want to start off with, and I'm looking at this Wordsmith because I really like that, and I love that geometric paper as well. Those are both from Studio Calico, and they're both from the Lemon Lush collection. So I know that I want to use a white background, which is not abnormal for me. That is something that I normally reach for when I'm starting a layout. And I know that I want to use these two pictures from my bridals that were taken in 2012. And so I really like these pictures because they capture me laughing during my bridals, and it wasn't a fake laugh at first. They were trying to get me to just, she was like, I think they were, my best friend and my mom went with me. And so they were trying to make me laugh, and it really was working, like the stuff they were doing. So it wasn't fake, like at all, some of the things that they were saying and doing. And so I wanted to capture that because I thought that was kind of a fun moment. But I'm going to go ahead and cut up this Wordsmith paper. I like the little words that are found on this paper, just that look like they're typed and with a typewriter. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut those out, and I'm going to try to find a place to use those. Now with these pictures, or with this picture, there's quite a bit of like space that's not being used. And so in this case, at the top of the photos, there's a lot of dark space, and so I thought that would be the perfect place to add those words. And so I'm going to cut those down. I really like that, and I've done this on a few other layouts, and I really love those typewriter stickers that I think Studio Calico has come out with, and tiny text, those tiny text phrases as well. And so I tend to use those when I do have those in front of me for a layout. So I really wanted to use these on the photo. So now I'm taking the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set, and I am using one of the stamps from that. That's a Stampin' Up! Set, and I just like the texture that it gives to the background without having to add paint or anything like that. And so I love the way that looked, and it's going to go great with the black features that I'm going to be adding, including the words that I'm adhering right now to the photo. I'm also looking at my embellishments right now, and most of the embellishments that I'm going to be using are from Studio Calico that came in our kit. So I want to use this ampersand. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the photo. And a lot of the embellishments that I'm going to be using, I'm actually going to be adhering to right on top of the photo. I just like, sometimes I do that. I just like the look of it, and especially when there's so much space that's being unused in the photo. I like the cluster of everything being put together instead of things being spaced out. And sometimes I like things spaced out. It just depends. Now the real life stamp, and then, or anything that you see cork down there, I had the cork in my stash, but I used the stamp set from the stamp add-on, and I just made my own embellishments like I often do. And I stamped those out beforehand, and I ended up just like kind of playing around, and I ended up really liking them, so I ended up using them. And I used black ink, which went perfect with everything else that I was doing. So I really liked the look of the cork with this layout. The embellishments are also from Studio Calico. I believe it's from the Wonderlust collection or the Lemon Lush collection. I threw away my packaging, unfortunately, but it's what came in our kits as well. All of these little ephemera pieces are from Studio Calico, including the label that I used under that cork piece and the star, and then the butterflies as well. I'm taking off the adhesive off of this label because I actually wanted to put it on top of the label versus underneath it, because I don't want to adhere the whole focal point down at this point. And I'm going to add a few more of those sketchy Gorgeous Grunge lines because it wasn't showing up enough for my taste where the photo was going to be positioned, and it kept falling off of that acrylic block, so I just picked it up and did it by hand. And I wanted to add some on that right hand side because I am leaving some space in between the focal point and the layout, and so I wanted to make sure that it flowed together well. I'm going to add some of these hearts from Studio Calico embellishments as well, and then some of these gems by Studio Calico as well. I actually sewed through that picture, and I went a little far up when I sewed down these butterflies. And so I used the gem to actually hide that, and I ended up liking it. So I just added another one and then added another heart there too. That cork piece there you see on the tray, I also, it looks like it's a label. I also stamped that out, but I don't end up using it. So I'm looking through the papers because I know I want to add something to frame all of this together. And so I picked the geometric, I mean, it goes with everything else that I'm using, so I went ahead and picked that geometric paper, and that is actually called Loyalty. I'm going to make the bottom thicker and the top a little bit thinner. I think the top is about a little over 1/2 inch, and the bottom is a little over 1 inch, I believe. Or maybe it's right at about 1 inch. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that yellow paper that's called Wordsmith. All by Studio Calico, which is pretty much most of my layout besides the stamped pieces. I went ahead and add some black thread because the black thread is what I used to sew down those butterflies. That just kind of ties everything together for me, so I went ahead and did that, and it kind of gives some more interest there to the top and bottom. I'm going to try to get this centerpiece straight, and I'm going to get it as straight as I can, but by stamping those sketchy lines just kind of in a way where it makes it look like it's not perfect, I guess imperfectly is what I was looking for. It kind of made it difficult to line up my photo, but I think it looks fine. I mean, it didn't bother me a whole lot. Now I'm taking these Studio Calico alphas, and I'm going to spell out all, and it matches the other embellishments and paper that I'm using. And I'm taking these thickers that look like they're a little distressed that came in our kit, and I'm going to spell out smile. So the title of the layout is going to be all smiles. And again, I'm going to add those letters right onto the photo just because it made sense to put it right there, and it fit well and it showed up. I really felt like if I would have put those letters onto the white cardstock, I think it would have been okay, but I think it shows up well on the photo. So now I'm cutting these frames that we got by Crate Paper, and I'm just going to add just my own little finishing touch there. And I think about adding like an additional tab up there, which I think looks cute from my view right now, but I think, oh, I do end up leaving that. No, do I? I do end up leaving that. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of this. Okay, I tried to add one there at the bottom, and I don't think I ended up keeping that. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was. So I did end up making my own glittery tab there for the top left-hand corner of the photo, but I did not put anything in the bottom right-hand corner. It's kind of overflowed with embellishments anyway, so I was okay with that. Here I go with that India ink again. Okay, so anytime I'm using black stamps and black images, I'm most likely going to use India ink, but I also added some Heidi Swapp mist as well. That pretty much finishes the layout up. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, let me know. Here comes some final photos as well. Thank you so much for watching.